All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. It is the Morning Musings show with Uma. We just completed our meditation and mantra. And now we're going to talk about our topic for today, which I think fittingly should be about Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde starts on May 10th, which is tomorrow, Tuesday. I want to see when it ends. Hold on one second. It usually lasts 3 weeks. So it's going to go from May 10th until June 2nd. So it's literally the rest of May. And we want to pay attention to Mercury retrograde because Mercury is the planet of communication, technology, and travel. And what that means is that when the planet is seen to go retrograde, we can expect to have issues in communication, travel, and technology. So I've been through many Mercury retrogrades where my aunt got stuck on the tarmac for 3 hours on a plane. I had, my car got into an accident. The dishwasher broke down, just like a lot, and definitely a lot of issues in relationships. Remember, Mercury rules the air signs, so we might see some erratic behavior from those that are Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But specifically, Gemini, Virgo will definitely be affected because Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury. So if you have a Gemini in your life or a Virgo and you start to see them going like a little erratic, that's usually why. Okay? Right. So we're all beginning to see it. And I pulled on my podcast, my weekly podcast, and I pulled the cards for the week, which we did the energy reading. And I'll be posting my podcast everywhere soon, but it's not looking good this week. I'll be very honest with you guys. We start the week with Three of Swords, which is like the energy of breakups. So Monday, Tuesday, if you're in a relationship, be very nice and sweet and kind to your partner because there's a breakup looming, all right? For other people, it's like issues with their jobs or just communication with their family or their friends. But everybody's going to be kind of like walking around with a bee in their bonnet. So walk on eggshells Monday and Tuesday, really and truly. But really for the rest of May, I would say walk on eggshells. Don't take anything personally. I remember I have a good friend of mine. She got like really upset because of something I did in my stream that was not like, it was nothing. But she got really upset and she talked to my partner about it. And my partner's like, why is she acting like this? I don't know. But I just told him, I was like, you know what? It's Mercury retrograde. Let's just let it go. Yeah. And she did apologize to me. She's like, I don't know why I was tripping out about that. I was like, I don't know either. But we just were like, let's just let it go and not take anything too seriously. So that's the kind of attitude you want to have with Mercury retrograde. Now, a lot of people always talk about the bad in Mercury retrograde, like, oh man, you're going to have problems in your relationships and technology and, travel. But what's the good in Mercury retrograde? I love Mercury retrograde because it is a time to take a pause. It really is. Trying to do anything new in a Mercury retrograde is like walking in quicksand. The more you struggle, the more you resist, the more you sink, right? So it's best in a Mercury retrograde to not start or do anything new. That's why I give advice to my clients, like don't sign any business contracts. Don't get into anything, any sort of formal or informal agreement because you're in your emotions right now. You're highly emotional. Everybody is. Just Gemini, Virgo, Libra, Aquarius are way more feeling than they normally are. But all of us have some of those signs in our birth charts. So we're going to get affected in some kind of way, right? So I tend not to make any business decisions during this month because I want to just realize that I'm in my emotions and I might not be thinking clearly. All right. Hey, good morning. So that's what's going to be coming for the rest of the month of May. A lot of people in their emotions, not thinking things through clearly. So don't take it as a given. I remember I had to sign a lease during a Mercury retrograde. And I actually told the man, the landlord, I said, I'm not signing until this date. And he thought I was kidding. And I said, no. I was like, I'm not kidding. Right? Yeah, I'll get to the readings right after I finish this talk. And it's just spin a wheel for the weekly reading for the week, which this week is going to be chaotic. So you guys want to see what's coming. So I did not sign the lease, but my two friends did. And can I tell you, after a year of being there, when it was time to get out, I got out easily and effortlessly. And my two friends, it dragged on. It dragged on for them to get out of that lease. But like I always tell you guys, don't sign anything or do anything, business wise in a Mercury retrograde, because everybody's in their emotions. And when they're out of their emotions, it's a completely different ball game. Same thing going too for the exes. They're going to come back. They always come back during a Mercury retrograde because everybody's in their emotions. Nobody's thinking clearly. So the last thing you want to do, for those of you that are listening, is to take an ex back during this time period, which again, May 10th to June 2nd. Don't take an ex back, because after June 2nd, when the Mercury planet goes, is out of retrograde, goes direct, they're going to be thinking again directly, and they're going to realize you're not for me. I was in my emotions. I don't want you here. So they're going to create something to be out of it with you. Does that make sense? You guys following me? So that's my advice to Mercury retrograde, is don't take back the exes. I had one Mercury retrograde when 9 exes contacted me. So because I already knew I was not going to take any of them back, I actually was in a place to receive a lot of love that month, because I wasn't in this place of, oh, wow, maybe. No, I was just more in the, it's nice that they're thinking of me, because some of them were from like years ago. Some of them were even married. And it was just nice to know that because they weren't reaching out like sleazy stuff like, hey, what are you wearing? It was like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Just hope you're good. Just thinking about you and hope that you're okay. And it felt really nice to receive it once I put myself in a platonic state. So for those of you that have exes that you're done with, if you can like shut that door completely to them, it actually is a nice thing when they come back and they check on you, because you're not in that feeling of, oh, let's make a go of this again. It's more like, oh, I must have meant something to that person, because here they are checking on me, and it makes you feel good. Another way that I like to spend Mercury retrograde is I like to reflect, because you are also in your emotions as much as everybody else is in their emotions. So I reread my journals. That's a great activity I love to do every Mercury retrograde, because remember, Mercury retrograde happens 3 times a year. So the first one already happened. That went January 13th to February 3rd. Maybe you can remember in your mindset what was going on January 13th to February 3rd. I know I got super emotional. It was on my birthday. I got super emotional. And now this one is May 10th to June 2nd. And then the third one this year is going to be September 9th to October 1st. September 9th to October 1st. So I like that the last one is ending in October, because we've had Mercury retrogrades during the holiday period, and that's not been nice. Okay. That's just been very traumatic holiday get-togethers for families. So I like that it's ending in October. So you got the rest of November and December to be out of retrograde period, and you could just enjoy yourself. So my recommendation for the rest of May is, don't take anything personally when people are going off on you. Try not to travel as much. And if you do have to travel because you already booked tickets and whatnot, give yourself extra time. I still travel during Mercury retrograde, but instead of getting to the airport with an hour to go, I would get to the airport with 3 hours to go or 2 hours to go. I would make it fun. I would just be like, okay, I'm going to take my time to get here. And now that I'm here, I'll have a lunch, I'll have a glass of wine. Like I just allow myself to enjoy the slowing down period. Definitely reflect, journal, write, because you're in your emotions too. And it's a really great time to get clarity about what you want in life and what you want out of your relationships and your job and things like that. So that is my recommendation for Mercury retrograde. It doesn't have to be terrible and annoying. It can actually be a really sweet thing if you connect to yourself and you remind yourself, I'm worthy, I'm precious, I'm lovable, and there are people around that want to love on me and let me receive that love. All right? So